Day 4 of Diddy's trial started off with Cassie still on the stand, but this time she's being cross-examined. It became extremely evident that Diddy's defense was going to be that they were just swingers and that their relationship, at least in the beginning, was this beautiful thing. The defense was trying to take back some of the horrific details that Cassie shared by painting this beautiful love story. They read a ton of text messages today, including some from Diddy to Cassie, like this one. "I love you so much, it makes me cry." Now, this was a message on August 12th of 2009 to Cassie. He also wrote one saying that his relationship with Ventura meant everything to him. "Love my baby. I love you so much, it consumes my life. How did it happen?" He also got a response from her saying, "I wonder the same thing. Who was I before we decided to be together?" They asked Cassie, "Why would you spend so much time with this guy?" And she responded saying, "He was charismatic, a big personality, larger than life. The beginning of the relationship was really fast-paced and scary. But the more time I spent with him, his real personality came out. He was sweet and attentive." Cassie was asked if at the beginning of her relationship she was consenting to these freak-offs, and she said she was. She said she wanted to make him happy, and this was the best way. They were obviously very sexual in the relationship, and there's text messages with Diddy writing and saying, "I'm so horny," and she responds saying, "Oh my God, I was just about to write you the same thing." There's another one where he says, "I can't wait for the freak-off," and she responds saying, "Me too." In a 2009 email that Cassie wrote to Diddy, she talks about the freak-offs and how she went back and forth on the idea to be this sexually free. She writes him and says, "In order for me to be more open with the things we do in bed, I need to feel safe, like home. Like this is my husband, and this is the only man that will ever have this aggressive sexual side of me. When we used to freak off, when we were so in love, there were no questions asked. It felt right. Like it literally made sense for the next step in our sex life together." The defense then asked her if these freak-offs were an important part of their relationship, and she said that they were an integral part. Cassie talked a lot about the drug use that was happening during these freak-offs, and the defense asked if she thought that Diddy had a drug addiction, and she responded yes. And she said when he would try to withdraw from them, he became extremely angry and aggressive with her. Things were not going well today for the defense, or at least it did not seem that way, and the judge was getting extremely impatient. It was going back and forth with questioning, with a lot of interrupting because defense wasn't asking appropriate questions, and the judge actually stopped and told defense that Cassie was only going to be on the stand for a day and a half, and then she was done. Diddy's attorney apparently didn't like this or didn't agree with this and responded telling the judge that Cassie could come back on Monday. The judge was not happy with this and responded saying, "In what universe did you not understand that this is what's going to happen? You're not telling me this wasn't everyone's understanding that this witness was going to be done this week." Things then got into the cheating side of stuff. So Cassie talks about Diddy cheating on her with this Gina, and that she was actually cheating on Diddy as well with, and I may say this wrong, Kid Cudi. She said she had a burner phone she was using, and she said one time during a freak-off that Diddy found the burner phone and found the messages between her and Kid Cudi. She said that Diddy went nuts and attacked her. She said this took place in 2011, and Diddy actually kicked her in the back when they had this argument, and he attacked her. When the jury was being selected, this was one of the names that the jurors were asked about, and we didn't know why. Now we know. It's because she actually had an affair with this man. Michael B. Jordan was the other name that jurors were questioned about, if they knew him or not. And again, we were wondering and speculating as to why. We now know. It's because Diddy was accusing Cassie of having an affair with him. Cassie again talked about drug use and said that he was addicted to opioids and that it would extremely affect his mood. She also said that he actually overdosed on painkillers at one time. We've all heard about Diddy and his baby oil now. There was 1,000 bottles of it found by feds when they raided his home. And Cassie has testified that they basically never had freak-offs unless there was baby oil. And she said they would go through 10 bottles of it in one session. One of the things people were wondering was if there could have been drugs in the baby oil, and this is how he was subduing some of his alleged victims during these sexual encounters. Cassie said that she does not believe there were ever drugs in any of the baby oil. People were actually just taking these drugs or given them in other ways, but it was not in the baby oil. They finished up the day with questioning Cassie about the 2016 situation with the hotel surveillance, asking her about that freak-off. And she said that they used to call getting too high the matrix. And she said that he was concerned that they would get into this matrix and not be able to perform sexually. So they had this big conversation about keeping the freak-off shorter. And this is when she ended up leaving the freak-off. He chased her, and that's when the beating took place. The next witness on the stand tomorrow for the government after Cassie finishes this cross-examination is expected to be Dawn Richard, who is a former member of the girl group Danity Kane. Now, she's expected to take the stand, and she actually filed a lawsuit against Combs last year, accusing him of groping her, assaulting her, and imprisoning her. If you haven't already, make sure you hit follow. I will be back at the end of day 5. It should be interesting considering she's accusing him of imprisoning her.